Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 4v4 match on the map Destruction Derby. I'm starting in the top right position, playing as the Soviets. So first of all, I'm just going to be expanding to that ore patch just above me. It's a 10k ore start this time, so plenty of resources at the start. I'm going to produce a few infantry and do some scouting to the south. Now, you might think this is a bit unfair because our team is starting in the north. And the thing about the north of this map is there's a clear advantage because there's two players that have easy access to the Gem Island. But we do have like a player who's a casual player in this game, Tom in Africa. He hosts some good games, and he's quite a nice guy, so we like to join his games. Yeah, it's sort of like we've got a casual player, and then on the other team we don't, so we have a bit of an advantage in terms of ore, because we've got that Gem Island. I don't have the Gem Island, but my teammates do. Purple located further down, and I'm just going to send some infantry down further down the map, and there's Levatos playing as a pink, and he's destroyed one of my infantry. He'll be having his scouts out, and he'll also be guarding any points of entry into his base as expected. And now we're getting our first war factory down, and because it's an ore-only map, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to focus very strongly on economy at the start. I'm going to need to produce my second ore refinery before I go for my second war factory if I want to have optimal tank production later on. I've also got two ore trucks which are being produced right now, and the only thing here is I've got like a big drag to the next ore patch, so I'm having to do like a much bigger crawl than I would like to, because obviously you want the second ore patch to be located quite close. I'm also doing crawling a little bit further with my ore silos so I can get that next ore refinery in sort of an ideal position, like sort of on top of the ore, not to the side. It's just like a little bit annoying with all those little things. And now we've got our next ore truck produced, so we've had two ore trucks produced, and we're building our second ore refinery. And I just need to be careful here. I'm going to send this ore truck to the left ore patch, and I'm going to need to make sure it goes to the correct ore refinery. That's the one I'm going to place down very soon. But yeah, just having a bit of a look around now. There hasn't been, obviously we're not expecting any action straight away. With these ore only maps, it does take a little bit of time just to get accustomed, get the ore coming in, and now we've got that ore truck working on that ore patch, and we've got our second war factory being produced, so we can produce tanks at a much faster rate. And just having a bit of a look at Purple there, we can see that he's got some infantry out, and that's my teammate, and Purple and Red are both going on that gem patch. And what I need to make sure I do is I provide enough support. Obviously I'm going to get a bit of a delay with support because I'm not mining gems like they are, but I've got my second war factory out now, and I'm going to be getting some tanks out pretty soon. I'm going to be able to send them further down the map. I'm also going to get a radar dome out so I can see what's going on in different parts of the map and see if there's any attacks incoming. Because I'm just having a bit of a look here just to see, because I'm interested in what Pink's going to do, because Levatos is a very good player, and he's sort of in the same position as I am in terms of ore. And we can see that Red and Purple are fighting down that side of the map. Now we can see that Levatos is coming up with those pink tanks, and I'm going to bring my army down now to meet him. Although it looks like he might not be going for me, and it looks like he might be going to the left-hand side. So I'm going to need to send my tanks in now to support against that. Those light tanks trying to go in, we'll have to see where they decide to go. Are they going to go for buildings, construction yards? We just need to get our heavy tanks in ASAP. And we can see he's trying to target the ore patch. And I think what he's trying to do is try to take out that bridge. So we just need to destroy those tanks as soon as possible and get rid of them before the bridge gets destroyed. You can see the bridge almost going down now. I'm just getting like a single tank just to try and take out that last light tank, and it goes down. So that bridge nearly getting destroyed there. I'm going to send my tank sword down to Pink Space now and go on the attack. So let's see what we can do here. We're going down to the base. We can see some more light tanks there. We're going to try and engage them. But we'll have to see what they try to do. And you can see them just trying to go to the other base. Now what I need to do here is I can't just focus on these tanks all the time. I do need to go to Pink Space. I can't just every time there's a single tank going through. And that bridge, unfortunately, I think is going to go down. But yeah, There's like, if I try and fight with that tank, it's going to go down the bridge anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and have to leave red and purple to it and go for attack and take out pink's base. But we can see at their bases, now orange has gone to the attack and it looks like they're losing structures quite quickly. But now we're going for an attack on pink's base. Pink has held some army back for this attack, but the question is it going to be enough? Am I going to have enough heavy tanks to take this and push him right back into his base? I do seem to have the better numbers right at the moment, because he did lose like a few tanks needlessly. He's also got onto medium tanks, so they're a bit more sturdy, but now he's starting to be able to push in a little bit and just destroy some of those medium tanks. That medium tank force isn't looking healthy, and we're starting to push in further and further. We'll have to see though, his allies going to come in and help, because they'll obviously probably see that what's happening here. And now we're starting to get onto his ore refineries. So there's one of his ore refineries. If we can take that out, that'll be a good step in the right direction. So that's one ore refinery down. It's going to mean those ore trucks are going to have to travel a lot further. And our tank force is looking pretty decent at the moment. He's starting to build some pillboxes, which provide a little bit of defence, but they don't do too much against the heavy tanks. A bit of an annoyance. So what we're going to do now though is we're going to go for those war factories and stop him producing those tanks. So that's one war factory down, and we're going for a second war factory. We can see this blue army coming in, so we're going to have to take this out as soon as possible. And now the construction yard's going down, and we'll take out these last few buildings of production. So the barracks going down now, and now we need to go and have a look what's happening at the top of the map. Pink is almost out of the game really once that barracks goes down. He can't produce any more units, so I don't have to worry too much anymore. But we'll try and get some of those pink tanks out and just expand my economy here. But we did see some orange light tanks, and it looks like those orange light tanks went for the attack on yellow. So yellow's going to have to fight there hopefully, and hopefully he's going to be able to hold his own. I don't need to worry too much about those ore trucks because he can't mine anything. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go and attack, and the next player along, who I think that's going to be blue. So we'll try and go for the attack down here. We'll see what we can do. It's sort of like a narrow gap. It's a bit of an annoying position to be in, but I don't know if blue has any forces down that area. We'll take out some more trucks as we're going down, possibly as well. There's a couple of tanks there, but that's not going to be enough. Those heavy tanks trying to come back in, but we've been able to take out those quite easily and going further down the map now. But what we realise is blue has Tesla coils, and that puts, that's going to make it too hard, I think, here. You can just see I've got some heavy tanks here, but there's going to be no chance. And what I'm going to need to do is go back to my base and do a bit of defence here and get some Tesla coils in position. But yellow's been able to fight off orange for the time being, and now we're going to send our tanks in that are being produced at our base to fight at this area of the map. You can see orange trying to stream more tanks in, so we'll have to try and take them out. And yeah, they're sort of like an ore truck trying to go and block my ore refineries. So what I'm going to try and do is just get a Tesla coil down just to protect those ore refineries there and take out those ore trucks. And now I'm going into the left side of the map, try to take out some of that blue economy. We can see that so far he doesn't have any Tesla coils on that side of the map, but that it probably won't be too long now till he does. And actually I'm going to need to go back to my base and just defend a little bit more against these orange tanks that are streaming in. And now we can see some pink tanks going for the attack on yellow. And yeah, another ore truck going down to the right side of my base there.
Unit lost.
I'll just need to... Yeah, I'll put a Tesla coil up here, just to defend that point up there. And now we're going in for we can see some blue tanks going to attack my base. So I'm just getting some more tanks in for the defence at the moment. And attack, yeah, we can see a couple of pink tanks coming in at the back there, but then going to be no match for my heavy tanks. I've just got too many, but light blues coming at the other side, and they're working together, so they might have a bit better of a chance. And those blue tanks obviously in decent numbers and more reinforcements coming in, and now it looks like it's going to be quite an even fight, so it'll be touch and go to what we can do here. We can also see some cyan infantry coming in, and all these little additions are going to help blue here. But now we've got yellow coming in with those tanks, and he's got quite a decent number. We can see in his base, so those attacks on his base haven't reduced his tank numbers too much, and he'll be able to provide a little bit of support now. That is a good number of light and medium tanks. And now I'm going to go on the attack here. I'm just what I'm trying to do at the same time as well is trying to expand south, because I'm going to want to get on these extra ore patches. It looks like yellow's actually going down the right side of the map, and now I've got orange here. Orange is in quite good numbers, so, and it looks like this might be quite tricky for me. I don't have that many tanks, and he's got the better numbers right at the moment. What I'm going to do is pull back a little bit here, so those yellow tanks that are stationary can fire a little bit as well, and just do a little bit of damage and help me hopefully a little bit. What I'm doing though is I'm getting another war factory down, and now I'm trying to pull him back a little bit so he gets in range of that Tesla coil. And yeah, that next war factory that's coming up is going to help me quite a bit. So I'm going to have that faster production speed. I'm also going to produce another Tesla coil lower down on the map, just to give me that bit of extra support. And now these heavy tanks coming out a little bit quicker, and we can see those orange tanks getting on low HP, and it looks like I might have the upper hand now, and I think I'm going to be able to get rid of those orange tanks. But the unfortunate thing is there's more tanks behind, and that orange tank's now having to retreat. I have got that Tesla coil down, so I'm going to be able to place it just there at the entrance. And now we're going to try and expand across the top of the map. What I do notice though is Cyan is only producing infantry, and that means that it's only blue and orange that can still produce tanks, and we're going to try and push them back right now. You can see that orange army starting to get some reinforcements in, and Cyan's slowing me down a little bit with those rocket troopers being a little bit annoying. Now what I'm going to show you is, you probably saw something in chat about what happened on the right side of the map. So we're going to see that. This is a bit earlier where yellow sent in his tanks. And he's got a mix of light tanks and medium tanks. So we can see him going down this side of the map. Now, the problem is we'll have to see where he goes, because he tries to go through this narrow gap. Now that gap is a little bit narrow, so it's got a bit of a bottleneck. And what we can see is there's a Tesla at the other side. So first he's going for ore trucks against blue, take out some of the economy, although the economy is pretty dreadful at that area, because all of yours being used up. And then he starts to bring his tanks down. But we could just see how many Tesla coils there are. And the problem is, so he's destroying the first Tesla coil, another Tesla coil pops up, and there's about 3 Tesla coils there. And when you got a bottleneck like this, it just does so much damage. He's also got a couple of tanks out as well, so he brings his tanks through, and now what he tries to do is he tries to go for the destroy on the construction yard, and you can just see all the tanks going through are just getting annihilated. And the thing is blue has a base in the middle left, so even if this construction yard goes down, he's still got construction yards on the map. So those tanks have just been absolutely annihilated now. And he's got rid of one construction yard. Sure, that's going to slow his building speed down a little bit, but he's just lost all of his tank army doing that. And there you can see that blue is bringing out another construction yard. Now yellow's only a casual player, that's why we had the team set out as they are. Yeah, if you're ever going to go for an attack, if you've got a bottleneck, you've got Tesla and heavy tanks at the other side, I'd always go to the base, to the other side of the base. And what should have happened, what would have been a better plan there, would have been to reinforce my tanks, because I was in a battle with orange, as you can see now. We've gone back to my view, and that could have really helped in the battle here. And if we'd fought together, then it would have been maybe a bit easier, and we could have attacked blue from the other side where there's not so much of a bottleneck. And if we'd taken out his economy on that side, because if you look at the bottom middle position, there's no ore there. Blue's base is on the left side of the map, and that's where he's getting all his resources from. So if we'd been able to take out that would have put us in a much better position. And unfortunately now that yellow, his base is getting attacked, and also I've got some of those ore trucks that have managed to find a way around my Tesla and get into those ore refineries. I think what he's done is he's taken them around to yellow's base, and then took them around there. But now we're going to be able to take out those final ore trucks, and it's obviously hampered my economy a little bit, but you can see that ore truck trying to move now, but it's on very low HP. We'll make sure it goes down though, so it can't come back, because what ore trucks can do is it can regenerate HP back up to green. So what I'm going to be doing is leaving my tanks down at the bottom of the base, and just destroying those ore trucks with a single tank. And now we can see that blue is starting to come in with his army, And yeah, it does look like he does have a decent force there. I'm going to hold it as well as I can. But we can see Orange is coming in with him. And that's a big problem. There's 2 of them. There's only 1 of me. They've probably got more of the map under their control as well. And my Yao is starting to run out around my base. And now Blue's coming forward with an MCV, trying to expand even further. And he's also coming into the back of my base. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do here. I've been attacked from both sides. There's 2 opponents there. And it's going to be definitely a good game, because as soon as I go to defend the back of my base, he's going to attack the other side, and I don't have enough tanks to defend both sides of the map. And that's just a unfortunate thing. So we had the better starting positions, but in the end it didn't work out, and it is a good game. So it was quite close in the end actually. It's what could have been though. Maybe if Yellow had sent the tanks to support my tanks, then it might have turned out a little bit differently. We could have got a good hit on Blue's base. But as I say, yeah, we had the teams set out the way they did, and in the end of the day, the other team did play really well and made the best of their position. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video.